Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
That was about the softest reference that he could have made, but do you want to talk about the theater thing?
Sure. So, Kyle, I certainly have owned up to my night out in Denver. I've gone on that public apology tour, and I'm grateful for the mercy and grace that has been shown. But I'm not going to continue to live life in shame and be beat up by this. And, I would like to go back to my legislative record for just a second.
We're not going to do that. You had plenty of time to answer the question. You chose not to.
Sure.
That's fine. I just want to make sure.
I'll have more time.
You have
Don't
apologized for the theater incident.
I certainly have.
And I just want to make sure. Did you apologize for the behavior that went on with you and your date or the vaping?
Kyle,
or did you apologize for lying to voters about what you did that night and the disrespect that you showed to service workers that night? What specifically were you apologizing for?
I don't believe there was disrespect. There were things that were absolutely taken out of context.
There's video of your interactions with service workers. I'm asking,
right,
are you apologizing for the lying to voters or the business?
It's been reported that I flipped someone off, and I did not. So, I mean, I think it's been very mischaracterized. I'm apologizing for you, Kyle Clark, getting footage and releasing that. And people seeing this in a very private moment.
Certainly. It was very important to figure out whether you were telling the truth
you just had
or
an
whether a
interview
public
recently with
agency was
CityCast
lying about your
Denver.
conduct.
You just had an interview with CityCast Denver, and you were saying how disgusting it is to record someone without their knowledge.
Let's talk about the use of earmarks in Congress.
You did that very same thing and released it.
So, yeah, over the weekend, on Friday, believe it or not, Lauren Boebert's son pled guilty. Isn't he sweet?
Yeah.
Did
he get a sweetheart deal or something?
He sort of did.
Okay.
I mean, it's a first offense for him.
Right.
And he's barely an adult. Yeah. Tyler Boebert, her eldest, was charged with ID theft and going on shopping sprees.
This family has Palin vibes all over it.
I know!
Oh, my God.
It makes Palin look smart, by the way.
Yeah.
But he was... Authorities said he previously told a judge he was working things out to be able to afford an attorney.
$176,000 a year. I think she could afford
makes $176,000 a year. I think she could afford an attorney for him. Just
at least, I'm sure she does some consulting here and there.
But she makes that her salary just being in Congress is $176,000 and some change a year.
Yep.
She makes a very good living, and in Colorado, it's not like Los Angeles money. That's a really good living.
Mm-hmm.
But he couldn't, he wanted to work things out to be able to afford an attorney and was caught with his 3 underage pals, lovely guy, on surveillance camera marauding.
Marauding?
They were marauding.
Okay.
I like that word. In Rifle, Colorado, breaking into people's cars, taking credit cards, and using them to go on shopping sprees. He ultimately copped to 1 charge. The judge considered his lack of prior criminal conduct in sentencing. He took a letter from Lauren Boebert herself into consideration. She was there.
Right.
She was holding his son, her grandson, I believe it is. The 9th Judicial District Chief Judge John Neely, I believe is how we pronounce it, Neiley, Neely. Okay. He said, "You were 18 when you committed this offense. You have no prior criminal history. This is an opportunity you should not squander. In accepting the proposed plea deal," he said he should also consider letters submitted by his mother. He's 19 now. He's reportedly ordered to complete 80 hours of community service and to abstain from controlled substances. Good luck with that.
Okay.
She appeared in court rocking her grandson on her hip, remember, because she was so happy at 36 to be a grandma.
Yeah.
I hope he takes heed.
Yeah, I hope he does. I hope he does. I hope he doesn't turn into Track Palin.
Let's hope not, because it's easy to do in these families. Because they're having issues. That whole family is having issues. And so I hope that he takes heed. He is young enough to set his life straight, should he desire to do so. So Donald was in Coachella this weekend.
He was.
And yesterday morning, I woke up to this person who was a Donald Trump person at the end of the Coachella event, videoing on his phone people stranded.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because the rally ended around 7 p.m., so Donald took off.
And everybody had to take a bus to this manure farm.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't quite Coachella, it was outside of Coachella.
Yeah, it was in the town of Coachella.
Right.
The Coachella Festival takes place in India.
Right.
Which is the city I used to work in.
Right.
And Coachella is a city that's south of there.
Right.
It's a pretty sizable city. I think
It
has
is.
like, 60,000 people or whatever.
It's not small.
Right. But there are farms all over the place. And this rally was held on a manure farm.
And so you had to park in Indio.
Yeah.
And then they had like 20 buses bringing people from the
Right.
parking
Right.
place, which was a
You
good
could not
2-hour
park
walk.
anywhere near this manure farm.
No, and so it was like a 2-hour walk if you could walk quickly.
Right.
So to get from there to...
And it was still in the hundreds.
Oh, yeah, it was warm yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the rally ended around 7 p.m. So they had 20 buses going back and forth between the parking lot to the manure farm.
Right.
So it must have smelled lovely there. Like Kettleman.
Well, Coachella is also near the Salton Sea, and the Salton Sea is not known for its flowery snow.
No, it is not. And so what happened was the thing ends at like 7 o'clock. So everybody goes to where the buses had dropped them off prior to that, including elderly people that can't walk well, people that are in wheelchairs, supporters of Donald.
Sure.
There was only one bus going back and forth versus the 20 that the Trump people had hired to get them in. So it took, I think they finally all got out of there around midnight.
Yeah, like 5 or 6 hours.
It was at least that long.
Yeah.
And people were complaining to the mayor of Coachella. It's like, not my problem.
Mayor of Coachella did not want this rally in his
He
town.
did not want it in his town. He knows he's not going to get paid for security.
Right.
And all of that.
And
but
he's also a Democrat, and so he just didn't, politically, he didn't want this.
he didn't
in
want
his
it
town.
anywhere near him.
Right.
So it was up to Donald's people to get these people in and out. And apparently Donald's people just wanted them in.
Right.
And couldn't care less
Right.
when or how they got
Or they couldn't
out.
afford the buses to take them out, or whatever.
Or wouldn't pay them.
Right.
I'm sure they could afford it. Yeah. But he's notorious. I mean, he still owes money to so many people
Yep.
all over this country
Right.
for rallies.
Right. And so, if a supporter owns a lot of land, that he goes and, does his rallies on that supporter's land. He doesn't want to rent from cities anymore, any arenas or whatever, because he doesn't want to pay them.
Right.
Yeah, supporters will give them land for free, and that's why he has these outdoor rallies.
But you still need security getting in and out of there that the cities have to pay for.
Yep.
And the fact of the matter is he just wants you in there. He
Nope.
doesn't care about you.
Nope.
He doesn't. I mean, I had to let go of a friend of mine of 40 years because he went down a QAnon rabbit hole. I literally sent Bob and David Ferguson, who will be on later with
Okay.
Rude Pundit. He'll be on at the bottom of the hour.
Yep.
I sent David and Bob these emails back and forth between my friend and me. And Bob goes, as soon as he said January 16th, I stopped listening. He sent me Dan Bongino videos to watch. And I'm like, no. He actually said to me, and I'm quoting, the reason that they want late-term abortions is Big Pharma wants older fetuses to make vaccines. And a very good friend of mine's wife is a pharmacist. She's a pharmacist, and she rolls her eyes every time she hears something like this. She's like, that's not a thing. It's just not a thing. Yeah. And I had to say to him, I said, I can't help you anymore. I can't. You're sending me stuff. You're not living in reality. And that's what these poor people at Coachella were dealing with. Yeah. They thought they were going to be taken care of.
Nope.
They lie to you.
Yes.
Wake up.
Right.
Wake up, everybody. So I feel bad for them, but again, I also don't. They make choices.
Absolutely.
These are adults. These aren't children. These are adults that are making choices to drive all the way from wherever they drove, whether it was just from India or outside of LA, Riverside, wherever they were, to drive to that parking place and then take the bus. So I just, it's sad.
Yeah, yeah. And also, I guess there was supposedly an attempted assassination at this.
He was also a GOPer.
However, this was all announced by the sheriff of Riverside County, Chad Bianco, who is an ardent Trump supporter and was going to run for governor against Gavin Newsom, on an anti-Gavin Newsom, pro-Trump ticket. So as soon as Chad Bianco held this press conference, my red flags went up.
Right.
And I'm like, something doesn't smell right about this. I'm not a conspiracy, not saying that it's all a conspiracy or something, but it seemed like Chad Bianco was overselling what actually happened. Yes, I'm sure, someone was detained, but he wasn't anywhere near Trump.
Nope.
It was well before anything ever happened. So, things like that happen all the time, unfortunately. But it seemed like Chad Bianco was overselling what actually happened.
Well, and
in order to get sympathy for Trump.
well, and that's the thing. It's like they still want people to think that people. Let's remember that the first person that shot near him was a weird GOP guy, or independent but lean GOP, and then the second guy technically did nothing except have guns, which he was not allowed to have. Also a GOP supporter. And then this person apparently also a GOP person.
We still don't know everything yet.
Still don't.
So, I'm a little hesitant to, talk about, this guy's political leanings or whatever. There were rumors that he was running for office on the Republican ticket in Nevada. Not sure if that's true or not. And so, there are a lot of rumors going on around this guy. I'm a little hesitant to talk about.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. But I mean, so far, everybody that's tried to kill him is a GOP person.
There's no denying it. The vibes are really good right now. But vibes alone won't save our democracy. We need votes. At the Grassroots Democrats HQ, we know what it takes to win elections. Knocking doors, making calls, sending texts, and writing postcards. If we're going to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and give them the Democratic Congress to pass their agenda, then we need to roll up our sleeves and talk to a record number of voters between now and November 5th. But let's be clear, we can't do it without you. So, are you ready to work? This is a fight for freedom and our future, and everything is at stake. Don't wake up on November 6th wishing you had done more. Join us. Go to grassrootsdems.org today to sign up to volunteer, and let's go win this thing.